Welcome. My name is Lynn. We are going to get started with a 45-minute slow flow class. So let's start in a comfortable seated position. If it's comfortable to cross those legs, feel free to cross them, otherwise they're welcome to be straight out in front of us. And then lengthen through the spine. So start by rooting down in the tailbone and lifting through the spine, head towards the ceiling, shoulders back and down. And we're welcome to close the eyes or gaze towards the floor. Focusing on breath here. Think about inhaling through that nose all the way into those lungs. Fill those lungs up completely. And then exhale out, emptying the lungs out the back of the throat and out the nose. Doing that again, inhaling, ribs expanding completely. And exhaling out the back of the throat and out the nose. And as we breathe, see if you can feel the belly expand with the lungs full, activating that diaphragm. And exhaling out the back of that throat. Finding those nice full deep breaths. And as we continue breathing with those full deep breaths, noticing how we're feeling today. How are we feeling physically? How are we feeling mentally? Emotionally? Acknowledge how we're feeling today. Honoring that as we move through our slow flow yoga practice. Letting go of all judgments and competition and expectations on that mat today. Honoring our body, listening to how it's feeling, taking any options as we need. Maybe take a moment to set an intention for our practice, or mantra, or anything we would like to maybe repeat and come back to throughout our practice today. Maybe a few more breaths here in our seated position before we start adding some movement. Start by bringing our hands towards heart center, thumbs towards the heart. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, open up. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, open up. Notice our shoulders as we invite movement into those shoulders. When we come down, make sure we're dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Just notice how our shoulders are feeling as we start inviting that movement in through our shoulders. Inhale as we lift up, exhale as we come towards the ground. One more in this direction. Taking our hands towards the ground, we can either place the palms down, we can use hands, cupcake hands, where like you have a cupcake underneath them, palms to the ground. Inhale, lift the chest and lean back slightly, opening the heart center. Pushing the chest forward, opening across the collarbones. Just noticing how that chest is feeling and maybe the upper arms. One more inhale. As we exhale, come back towards the center with our spine. Let's take our right hand, inhale, lift up over the head, left arm towards the ground, maybe reach across, lateral flexion. Inhale, switching, other hand goes up, and exhale, come across. If we need a little bit more stretch through our side. Inhale, release. Lengthen through the side, other side again, and exhale across. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, coming across. Inhaling back to center. Go ahead and come around to all fours position. Bringing our knees under our hips, hands under shoulders, spreading our fingers. Taking a nice deep breath in here. And then as we exhale, let's round that back up into the spine. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, arching up into cat. As we inhale, release into that. My challenge for you today is as we go into cat, press into the tops of those feet and then maybe play around. You need to sit back a little more to get that stretch through the spine. And then release into cat. Really notice, are we activating our core completely to do this? And then slowly releasing the core as we go into cow. So taking and paying attention to how that feels and adjusting our body to fit the pose. One more cat and one more cow. Returning to that neutral spine. Let's go into spinal balance. Taking our right foot back behind us, act like we're pressing the heel against the wall. And stay with just the foot, or we can add that opposite arm forward. Now I'm going to pull to the center. Exhale as we come into the center. Inhale as we reach along. Finding that balance. And the best place to find balance is in the core. So notice what's happening in our core to maintain that balance. Moving with our own breath at our own pace. Taking whatever time we need to find that spinal balance. Go ahead and finish the one that we're on and return to all fours position. Switching sides, sending that other leg back behind us is my left leg and my right arm forward. Inhale, lengthen, engage the core. Exhale, pulling to the center. Inhale, reaching long. Exhaling to the center. Again, noticing how to find spinal balance through our core as we move at our own pace, with our own breath. And notice if the side feels different than the other side. And try to come back to that balance in the center. Inhale, reaching long. And as we exhale, coming back to center, all fours. Bring our feet together. May want to separate the knees, finding child's pose as we sit over those heels. Hands pressed down, spread those hands like starfish. Pressing into our mat, finding our child's pose with our hands overhead. You can use this child's pose anytime during your yoga practice. Inhale, lifting up. Walk your hands to one side of the mat and sit back into the other hip. Stretching down our side. Inhale, lifting up. Walk across that mat to the opposite side. With those hands, sit back in to the hip. And just breathe and hold. Inhale, lifting up, returning to center. Finding our child's pose in the center. Inhale, lifting up. If we separated the knees, let's walk them in. Keep the hands where they are. Sit back over those heels. May not be a full child's pose. Inhale, shifting forward, kneeling plank. I'm going to do a couple here on my knees before I add on. The next time I come to these, I will go to my toes. Just know that we can come back to the knees in this option at any time. Let's add a little crocodile or chaturanga. Inhale, shift forward. Make sure those shoulder blades are over the wrists. Bend the elbows, chaturanga or crocodile. Inhale, back up, and exhale back. So using that breath, inhale forward, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten the arms, and exhale back. Inhale, shifting forward. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift, and exhale back. This time, we're going to hold that chaturanga. Hold. One more inhale. As we exhale, slowly lower down to the mat. Inhale, lifting up a baby cobra. Squeeze those glutes, feet wider than the hips. Slowly lower down. Inhale, lift up baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower. Pressing back into child's pose. So we can always do those options that we just did there. Keeping the hands where they're at, turning the feet over, exhaling toward down dog. Downward facing dog, first one of the day. Soften those knees if our hamstrings are tight. Push through those shoulders and breathe. Let's play around with our heels here. Bending one knee in, press one heel down, feeling the stretch up the leg, and then switching. Just alternating from side to side. Notice how the backs of our legs are feeling. Go ahead, hold that down dog. Pressing through the shoulders, knees can be soft. Shake your head no and yes. Inhale. As we exhale, slowly walk our feet towards our hands, coming into forward fold. Softening our knees as much as needed. Inhale, reverse, swan dive, arms sweep up overhead. And exhale, let's find our standing mountain pose, arms beside us. Feet underneath those hips. Start by picking up those toes, pressing all four corners of our feet, setting those toes softly down. From here, lifting up, kneecaps lift, belly button to spine, shoulders away from the ears, palms forward. Couple breaths here in mountain as we ground. Just take nice deep breaths in and exhale out. Checking in with our bodies here, and then think about our intention or mantra on that next breath. Got some arms, inhale, lifting up. Hands come together, exhale, press towards the ceiling. We can clasp or just stack hands. Inhale, as we exhale, lean to the left, hips to the right. Inhale, lift up, and switch. Inhale, lift, exhale, lean. Inhale, lift, exhale, lean. One more time on each side. Just notice how we're feeling through the hips and the side of our body. Inhale, lift, exhale, release our arms down. Chair pose. Inhale, lift up, exhale to chair. Arms can come forward or to heart center. Inhale, lift. As we find that chair, way back in the heels, choosing where we want those arms. We inhale, lengthen, exhale, sit back. I challenge you to maybe do something we don't always do. So if you always bring the hands to heart center, maybe try doing something different. Or if we always go forward, choose maybe something different. Mixing things up sometimes is good. So finding that chair, moving with our breath, choosing the pace by the pace of our breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink. 2 more. 1 more chair pose. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling, arms sweep down to mountain pose. Let's practice forward folding here. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, soften the knees a whole lot, tipping forward, sweep down, revert, swan dive towards the floor. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, lowering towards the floor. Soften our knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive towards the top. Exhale to chair. Again, taking any options that feel okay today. Swan dive forward, forward folds. Inhale, lifting halfway up. Exhaling, forward folds. Soften our knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhaling to chair. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to hang out here this time. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling to forward fold. Relax head, neck, and shoulders. Softening knees if needed. Lifting the tailbone up. Stepping our right foot back to a lunge. Both feet step back to downward facing dog. We're going to shift forward to plank 3 times. Inhale, shift forward to plank. We can stay on our toes or drop to our knees. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhaling, shifting forward. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward. This is the 3rd one. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Let's go through a sun salutation here, choosing knees or toes. Inhale, shifting forward, toes or knees. Exhale, chaturanga. And then choosing baby cobra or up dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Inhale, let's pick our right leg up in the air. Let's hold it there. Bend our knee, flex our foot, push our heel to the opposite side. Opening the front of that hip. Breathing, holding. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, pull the knee in and hold. And then lunge forward if we need to assist. Bringing it forward. Option here, if we need those yoga blocks or books, please feel free to put them underneath the hands as we find our lunge. The right foot forward. Front knee in line with that ankle, wherever we have our lunge position. Inhale, lifting up, walk up that leg, sinking down into the hips, straighten that back leg. Hands can come to heart center, or we can reach up. Choosing whatever feels best for our balance, for our bodies today. Breathing. Slowly bring the hands down behind our back. Planting the back foot down for warrior 1. Clasping our hands or resting them on our hips. Inhale, bend that front knee, pressing in as we do extended warrior 1. Hands can stay on our back and lift off. We're looking towards our foot. Breathing. Inhaling as we exhale, reaching towards ground or yoga block. Adjusting the back foot for a pyramid pose. So stepping in, whatever we need to do here. We can straighten those legs. Tipping from the hip, hands towards ground, shin. Nice, long pyramid pose. Softening our knees, inhale, lifting up. Return to warrior 2. So go ahead, turn and face the long edge of our mat, finding warrior 2. Sinking down into the hips, check the front knee. Pull it towards the pinky toe, and then adding our arms either long or at heart center. Reverse warrior here. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse. Sinking in the hips, keep the front knee bent, lifting out of the ribs. Inhaling. As we exhale, back to warrior 2. Option here. to go to side angle. Hand can land softly on the thigh or reach towards the ground or yoga block. Other arm can be in the air or behind our back if we're protecting our shoulder. Breathing. Soften our knee. Rise up to reverse warrior, straightening our front leg. Keeping the front leg straight, bring the arms down. Reaching forward, going to triangle, and can drop towards the ground, shin, yoga block. Stacking shoulders, hips push towards the ceiling. Look straight ahead or the arm in the air. Softening our knees, inhale, rising back up into warrior two. Releasing our arms down, going into wide straddle. Turn the toes towards the long edge of the mat, both toes. Tipping from the hip, hands towards the ground or yoga block. Lifting the tailbone up. Relaxing head, neck, and shoulders. Let's set the feet. Spread those toes. Think about lifting up, shift the weight towards the balls of the feet. Then we can choose our arms. Can stay on the ground, go to ankles, reach behind us, or chest expansion. And I challenge you to do something we don't always do. So if you always do something, choose something different. Lifting the tailbone up. Head is nice and relaxed. Slowly bringing the hands back towards the ground. I'm going to walk to the other leg. So you may be facing away from the camera. So I had my right foot in front before, and now my left foot is in front, and I'm in lunge. We all in lunge with the opposite foot forward. Slowly rising up. Lift that chest. So you might be facing the opposite direction. Sink down into the hips, hands to heart center or overhead. Breathing. Getting a different view. Maybe thinking about our mantra or affirmation. Bring our hands down behind our back, planting that back foot down for warrior one. Bending our front knee, tipping from the hip, coming into extended warrior one, option for chest expansion. Look towards the top of our foot and breathe. Releasing our hands, reaching towards the ground or the shin or yoga blocks. Stepping that back foot in slightly for pyramid pose. Straightening our front leg as much as possible. And bringing our chest towards our thigh. Finding pyramid pose on this side. Remember, we are different from side to side. So just notice how this side feels. Breathe. Softening our knees a whole lot. Lifting the chest. Stepping open to warrior two on this side with that left leg forward. Sinking down into that warrior two, adding those arms long. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Keeping that front knee bent, back leg long. Reverse warrior, inhale, lifting the front arm up, lengthen through the front of the body. Breathing. And coming back into warrior two. And then moving into side angle. We can stand, we can stop with that hand on the thigh. We can reach towards the ground or yoga block, dropping the hip as much as we can, stacking those shoulders on top of each other. Knees are in line with the shoulder. So straight line from up all the way down. On our next inhale, rising up into warrior two. Reverse warrior, straightening the front leg. Breathing, lifting out of the ribs. Dropping the arms down, getting ready for triangle. Reaching forward. And then hand can drop to shin or yoga block or ground, other arm in the air or behind our back. Triangle pose. Breathing. Noticing if this side feels different than the other side did. Soften our knee. Inhale, rising up into warrior two. Release the arms down. We're still going to face the long edge of the mat, except we're going to bring our feet in. So safely stepping our heels in together, so we're not in a wide. We're going to go into a Hindu squat. So knees and toes pointing out wide. We're slowly drop down. Hands can come to the thighs. They can rest on the thighs, or we can drop all the way down. Trying to keep our heels on the ground if we can. Hands towards heart center if we're all the way down. We can press on the inner thighs as we hold. Breathing. Notice if we feel like we need to shift forward or back a little bit, adjusting our bodies to what works. And if this does not feel comfortable, please feel free to take child's pose. Slowly bringing our hands towards the ground, lifting the tailbone up, turning the toes forward. So we're in a forward fold, just a little wider than hip width. Welcome to grab the wrists or forearms hanging and breathe. Softening our knees, hands to our thighs. Inhale, rising all. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, baby back bend. Inhale, center, and exhale, return. Mountain pose. Stepping our feet in so they're under the hips. We're gonna go to balance. I'm gonna do dancer today. I ran a 5K this morning. My quads are tight, so you guys get dancer. Feet underneath those hips. Shifting our weight to the right leg. Slowly begin to pick up the left leg, putting it in our left hand. Pull those knees together. Right hand can stay by our side, out long, forward, whatever feels good. Keep pulling inner thighs together. Engage the core. You can stay here with the knees down, or we can choose to push that foot into the hand, coming into dancer. I have a door behind me, so I won't be able to push my foot on that direction. You're welcome to soften that supporting knee, pushing the foot into the hand, finding our dancer pose. And breathe. Slowly bringing the feet back together, knees together, and release the foot down, kind of walking it out. We'll switch sides, starting in mountain. Shift the weight, the left leg, unweight the right. Taking that foot into our right hand. I'm going to turn so that I can go into dancer on this side. Hand can go forward to the side, wherever we like. Pulling inner thighs and knees together. Staying here if this is where we want to stay. Otherwise, finding a place for the eye gaze. Softening the knee and pushing our foot into the hand. Finding our dancer pose here. And breathing in our dancer's pose. Finding the expression that works for us today. Slowly come back to center. Release down. Walk it out. Going into forward fold, stepping towards the short end of our mat. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhaling, forward fold. Lunging left foot back. And then both feet back to downward facing dog. We can hold downward facing dog or go through our vinyasa, shifting forward to plank. Choosing your options. Chaturanga, up dog or baby cobra. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Good, walk that dog, alternate those heels. Holding down dog. Softening our knees. And let's find a child's pose. We're going to go into dolphin today. Elbows under shoulders, hands together or palms on the mat. Turning our feet over so it's a downward facing dog on our forearms. Lifting our tailbone towards the sky, finding downward facing dog. Think about pressing the shoulders away from the head. And then maybe walk our feet a little closer to the elbows. Softening our knees as much as needed. And maybe play with shifting the weight more in the arms, playing with that center of gravity. Softening our knees and returning to child's pose. Inhale, lifting up, bringing our knees underneath our hips. We're going to go to camel pose. So lifting all the way up from the knees, all the way up with the spine. Taking our fists or palms to our low back. Pulling the elbows back. Give me that open chest here. Inhaling, as we exhale, squeeze the glutes. Push those hips forward, belly button forward, rib cage. Heart center towards the ceiling. Eyes towards the ceiling. We can keep the hands on the low back, or we can choose to reach towards heels or ankles. Slowly releasing to center. And release those arms down. Laying on our belly, doing a little back strength work. Hands come together, resting forehead on the hands, feet about hip width apart. Laying on our belly. Start by lifting the legs, squeeze the glutes, lift the legs. Engage through the glutes and hips. And then inhale, on our next exhale, lift the hands. Hands start at the shoulders. Now we can choose to keep the hands at the shoulders, take them out wide, or take them forward. Again, taking options that feel okay for us today. And breathe. Inhaling as we exhale, slowly lowering down, releasing everything. Bring our hands underneath us, pressing up to all fours, or child's pose, take your option. Coming into all fours here, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Giving me a little cat and cow to release that spine. And bending it the other way. Let's go ahead, come back to neutral spine. And have a seat. Option, legs can be straight out and cross the right leg over the left, or we can choose to cross the right leg over the left and tuck the left underneath. So choosing whatever feels best for us as we hug our knee into our chest. If you feel like you're lifting that hip a lot and you're not centered, then straighten that bottom leg back out. And it may not be the same on both sides. Slowly drop the ears away from the shoulders. Breathing as we lift through the spine. Option to add a twist. Right knee is up, right hand on the floor. We can twist. Low back, middle back, upper back, look over the shoulder. Welcome to add the arm for leverage if it reaches. Slowly coming back to center. Uncross the legs, switching sides. So crossing the left leg over the right. Right leg can stay straight, or we can tuck it underneath. And making sure those hip bones come down. If we feel like it's lifted, straighten that bottom leg back out. Hugging our knee into our chest, lengthening the spine. Long spine, shoulders away from the ears. Option here to add the twist. Left hand on the floor next to left hip, twisting low back, middle back, upper back, look over the shoulder. You can use that arm for leverage. Breathing as we hold, lengthening that spine. Slowly untwisting, uncrossing those legs. Let's go into butterfly pose. Feet together, knees open wide. Now if we're feeling a lot of tightness in those hips, we can always lift the hips by adding a pillow or folded blanket underneath our hips to lift them a little higher, allowing our knees to fall open a little more. Lengthening our spine. We can slowly tip forward, elbows can press on the inner thighs as we breathe. And we can think about grabbing our feet and rounding the spine, thinking nose towards the toes. And breathe. On our next inhale, slowly rising up, pull those knees together. We're going to slide down our mat, laying on our back. Hugging our knees to our chest, we may rock back and forth or side to side. Couple poses before we Shavasana. We'll start with a bridge pose. Walk those feet in, feet are planted about hip width apart, arms beside us or out wide at our shoulders. Take a breath in. First one, we're going to roll up, roll down. Tuck the tailbone on the exhale, lifting up into bridge. Kind of roll all the way to the shoulders. Inhale at the top, check that your hips are in line with your knees. And then exhale, lower down, starting at the shoulders. And the tailbone will come down last. Releasing all the way down. This time we're going to go up and hold. So on our inhale, release, exhale, tuck the tailbone and lift up into that bridge. Holding here for 4 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Keep pushing in the feet, activating the backs of those legs. All the weight is in the shoulders. Breathing. I have 1 more breath for my 4 breaths. On the next breath, inhale. On the exhale, start at the shoulders. Slowly lower down. Releasing the tailbone down last. Hugging our knees into our chest. We can rock back and forth or side to side. Happy baby pose. Grab behind the thighs, arches the feet or big toes. Drop the knees outside the body, press the heels up. Piece of fruit under that chin. And breathe. Slowly releasing those feet down. Let's extend our arms long over our head. Bring our feet together and knees open wide. Recline butterfly. 3 breaths here. Think about the elongation through the abdomen happening. Elongation of the spine. On our next exhale, pull those knees together, inner thighs and heels touching, arms at our shoulders. Dropping our knees to left side. If we need to shift those hips before we drop, please do so. Breathe. On our next inhale, lifting up. And then if we need to shift to the other side, please shift and then drop the knees to the other side. Keeping the shoulders down, lifting those hips. our next inhale, bring the knees back to center. Hug our knees into our chest one last time. Going into Shavasana, so finding any pose that feels comfortable for us. We can lengthen those legs out, bend the knees, palms beside us, or out wide. Any pose that feels comfortable, and we can hold for about 4 to 5 minutes. Breathing. Think about inhaling energy into our body. Let the ribs expand. And exhaling out the back of the throat and out the nose. Inhaling. And exhaling. Continue to breathe. Maybe focus on that breath. Maybe slowing it down a little. Inhaling. Add a little pause. And exhaling. Add a little pause. Inhaling again. Think about slowing that breath down a little bit. Letting ourselves melt down into the mat, down into the earth. We know we hold tension in a certain area of our body. Focus on that area. And let ourselves just release that area completely. Breathing. Making sure we're not holding tension in our forehead or jaw. Sometimes we clench through the jaw. Relax that jaw. Just focusing on our breath here. We feel like we're holding tension in our hips. Think about releasing that. Just let the hips release. As we breathe, thinking about our intention or our mantra for the day. Slowly taking our time. When we are ready, maybe begin to wiggle fingers or toes. Maybe roll the wrists or ankles. And if we're ready, we're welcome to pull those knees in. We can roll to one side, relaxing on our side for a few breaths. When we are ready, slowly pressing into an upright position. Finding whatever is comfortable for us. Let's do 3 breaths together. Taking a nice deep breath in and exhaling out. Nice deep breath in and exhaling out. One more nice deep breath in and exhale. Bring our hands towards heart center. The greatness in me honors the greatness in you. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Lynn.